Rochester.
Rochester, that's a copy. You can call back Elder Avenue.
Elder, 10-4.
We have a 2 train.
That's a 509 diagonal launch place on
509, you have the lineup. Call back at Pelham Parkway.
Just need a 516 because my Discord.
Gamer Alpha, you can hear me right now, right?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I'll just be a 516 because I'm gonna reload my game.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 local train. The next stop is Gun Hill Road.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Westchester Square for the 507.
Westchester Square, that's a copy. Call back at Rochester.
Copy.
Elder.
5016, call back at Hunts Point.
Hunts Point, 10-4.
Yeah, loud and clear.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 local train. The next stop is Pelham Parkway.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
515, I reached the about off Woodlawn.
BX12 select bus service.
That's a copy. Call back to Fordham Road.
This is 509 direct to New Lines at Philip Parkway.
5.
This is a Manhattan bound 5
509 at Pelham Park.
The
That's
next
call
stop
back
is
at Morris Park.
507 is at Parkchester.
507 at Parkchester. That's a copy. Call back at Hunts Point Avenue.
Copy.
016 Hunts Point.
016 Hunts Point. That's a copy. Give me a call back at East 149.
Copy, 149.
Oh, I'm not really in the one. Actually, maybe officially.
If you're not joining the run, then you might be the keys.
Oh, sorry.
.516 I reached about out of Lakefield. 516.
This is Morris Park.
516, ready to depart.
516 as a copy. Give me a call back at Gun Hill Road.
9-4 for Gun Hill Road.
This is a Manhattan bound 5 local
This
train.
is 509 direct
The
to New
next
Lines.
stop is East 180.
509 Morris, that's a copy. Make sure you get the line of local. Call back at East 180.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
This is the 517 departure with the lineup at Eastchester Drive.
You. Okay. 517 out of Dyer, that's a copy. Call back at Pelham Parkway.
East 149.
516 East 149, that's a copy. Call back at 3rd Avenue, 138.
3rd Avenue 138, copy.
This is East 180th Street. Transfer is available to the 2 trains.
clear.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 train. The next stop is West Barnes Square, East Tremont Avenue.
515 to New Lots has a copy. Give me a call back at Burnside Ave.
Stand clear of the closing
Listen,
doors.
509 direct to New Lots, East 188.
509 to New Lots, East 180, that's a copy. Give me a call back at 174th Street. Ready to depart.
521 4 train from Woodlawn to Norlots Avenue, requesting line to proceed out of Woodlawn.
You have the lineup to depart. Call back at Fordham Road.
Let's copy for Fordham.
This is West Barnes Square, East Tremont Avenue.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you exit, please be careful of the gap between the platform and the train.
Hunts Point Avenue for the 507.
507 Hunts Point has a copy. Call back at East 149th Street.
Copy.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 train. The next stop is 174th Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
I'm 17 for the credit.
17 Pelham Parkway, that's a copy. Call back at Morris Park. Next stop. That's a copy. Burnside Avenue, that's a copy. Call back at 167th Street.
Gun Hill Road.
516 at Gun Hill Road, that's a copy. Call back at Bronx Park East.
So for Bronx Park East.
The 507's callback was East 149 or 143?
149.
Alright, thank you.
Dispatch, run chat.
174th Street.
No, I'm looking at run chat. Sure, I just had to go look at the sheet for a second. 523, call back at Pelham Parkway.
5016 is at 3rd Ave 138.
5016, they're at 138, that's a copy. So drove to the Manhattan Tower.
This is the 517 5 train. Call back at Morris Park.
Local train.
517 at Morris Park has a copy. Make sure you have the lineup for the local. Call back at East 180th Street.
Top 3 East 180.
Listen, 509 direct to New Lots, Hudson.
174th, that's a copy. Call back at Jackson Ave.
Copy, Jackson.
For the 507.
507, that's a copy. Call back at 3rd Avenue.
Copy.
I already said Pelham Park.
This is Freeman Street.
gentlemen, as you exit, please be careful of the gap between the platform and the train.
527 radio.
The Manhattan-bound 5 local train. The next
Hear you loud and
stop
clear.
is Simpson Street.
Alright, copy.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
527, go back at Kingsbridge Road.
521 4 train from Woodlawn to New Lots, calling back at Photo.
521, call back at Burnside Avenue.
Burnside, that is a cop.
It's the 517-5 train, call back at East 180.
This is
517-5, that's a copy. Call back at Freeman Street.
Freeman.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 local train. The next stop is Intervale Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
515 at 167, that's a copy. Call back at 161st. Actually scratched at 149.
This is Intervale Avenue.
Ready to depart Dyer Avenue.
520 right, ready to depart, there's a copy. Call back at Maychester Avenue. Actually, Gun Hill Road.
Copy.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
516, 2 train to New Lots Avenue, calling back at Bronx Park East.
Bronx Park East, that's a copy. Call back at East 180.
Time 4 for East 180th Street.
Scratch on Bill Parker, that's a copy. Call back at Morris Park.
3rd Avenue, 138 for the 507.
507 should go over to Manhattan.
Okay.
521 4 trains, calling back at Burnside.
521, call back at 161st Street.
161st Yankees, that is a cop.
The next stop is Jackson Avenue.
523, hold until I get a confirmation that the 16 is at East 180.
516, 2 train in new lots, calling back at East 183, punching for local lineup.
516 at East 180, if that's a copy, call back at 174.
94 for 174th Street.
Hold it. Okay. 515, that's got to go to 138. 523, you may go to East 180 now.
This is 509 direct to New Jackson.
509 at Jackson, that's a copy. Call back at 149th Street, Grand Concourse.
The next stop is 3rd Avenue.
This is the 517-5 train, call back at Freeman Street.
Closing doors, please.
Freeman, call back at Jackson.
I'm from Jackson.
27 at Kingsbridge? That's a copy, call back at Burnside Avenue.
This is the 529 calling at Bunker Bay.
529, call back at Morris Park. 515 at 138, switch over to the Manhattan Tower.
3rd Avenue, 149th Street. Transfer is available to the 2 train.
516, 2 train in new lots, calling back at 174th Street.
516 2 at 174, if that's a copy, call back at Intervale Avenue.
94 for Intervale Avenue.
This is a Manhattan-bound 5 local train. The next stop is 149th Street, Grand Concourse.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
I see. 174, 523.
This is 149th Street, Grand Concourse. Transfer is available to the 2 and 4 trains.
This is 509 direct to New This is 509 direct to
copy. Call back on 138.
This is a Manhattan bound 5 local train.
521 4
The next
train.
stop
It's calling
is
back at 161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
521, call back at 149th Street.
149 Grand Concourse. That's a cop.
Try 174, that's a copy. Call back at Simpson Street. 527 Burnside, that's a copy. Call back at the stadium.
539, call now, Balls Park.
529 at Morris Park, that's a copy. Call back at East 180.
Copy.
.516, 2 train to New Lots Avenue. Call back at Intervale Avenue.
Intervale, that is a copy. Call back at... Actually, hold on, wait.
This is the 517 train, call back at Jackson Avenue.
517 Jackson, that's a copy. Call back at 149th Street, Grand Concourse. 516, call back at Jackson Avenue.
94 for Jackson Avenue.
149 Grand Concourse for the 521 4 train.
521, hold until 509 has reached 138.
10 for Holden.
This is 509 there to Atlanta at 138 Grand Concourse.
509, that's a copy. Switch over to the Manhattan Tower.
If you're all trying to participate.
This is the 595 there to Atlanta at 138.
543 another copy. Alright.
I transit, through train, 176.
That's 7 o'clock now.
Hey, 176.
Go to Central Park North.
Okay.
16 is at Grand Central.
01 for Grand Central, it's a copy. Union. 509, everyone cleared out of 138.
Assuming there's a conga line behind 138.
There very well might be. Oh yeah, there's a yes. Okay, now let me know when you pull up.
Okay.
There's a con. Jesus Christ.
Brooklyn is going to contain.
That's a Grand Central.
532 train, 96 Street.
96 at the copy, next call back 77.
10-4.
This is 509 there. Lots of
125 at the copy, next call back 86.
Wait, hold up. On Norfolk Southern train, calling on Norfolk. What the hell? Okay.
No, you're not in Norfolk Southern run. You're in an MTA-like run. Calling back at 59, 507.
759 Grand Central. You are at where? Grand Central to copy.
Hi Tower, good evening. This is the 521 Fortune from Woodlawn to New Lots Avenue, calling back at 13 Grand Conference.
The copy, next call back to
125 and Lex, copy.
My house is haunted.
Dumbass.
What?
That's what does that.
My house is dressing haunted.
Can I get
That was weird looking, so you're fast enough.
is at 14th Street.
You're doing like a copy. 515, I'm assuming you're just passing 30, something like that.
Modified.
You're 28th or 23rd.
533 train, 7 seconds.
77, go to times for 40 seconds. The 501, I'm going to send you out to King.
Transfer
Copy.
to the 6th train. Transfer to the M86.
This is
Select
509
bus
there. Lots
service.
of
86 is a copy, that's Codex Grand Central.
521 Fortune is calling back out 125 and Lex, punching for Lex Express.
All of 125 with the copy, next Codex 86.
10-4.
36, through train, Central Park North.
Rock North, copy, next Codex 96.
Copy 96.
Grand Central 42nd Street from 507.
507 for Grand Central to copy, next Codex 14th Union.
Copy 14th Union.
Good evening, Manantol. This is 516-2, train to New Lots, calling back at 149 Grand Conference, punching for 7th Ave.
That's the 17 to New Lots. 15, 14, the 15s at 14 go to... yeah, go to City Hall, step up. The 17, that's at 138, go to home.
It's a 16, by the way, but copy for
Potato. You got them?
517 is at 138 Garden Concourse.
Wait. The 16-2 is at... Okay, so 16-2.
49. I'm just leaving one for 49.
16-2 is at 135. So the 17 to 135.
That's copy.
I was confused. Like, I see 17. I think I do the 16. I see it. Oh. Grand Central.
536, Station 96th Street.
92nd.
You said 96.
I said go to 72nd Street.
Okay.
That's street.
Highway 515, Cross Train.
You have just
I just got the canal.
Yeah, canal, please hold.
GG.
Yeah.
I 521 Fortune is coming back at 86.
86, that's a copy next.
Grand Central. Wait, you said Grand Central is my callback?
Yes, for the 521 Grand Central.
This is the 517 5 train calling back at 125 punch for Lexington Express.
517 for Hartman, it's a copy next call, that's 86.
That's copy.
This is the 532 tree calling back at Times Square.
Times Square, that's a copy next call, that B. 7,014.
516 2 train to New Lots, calling back at 135.
135 is a copy next call, that's Central Park North.
For Central Park North, what's up?
527, 138. 138, that's a copy. R125. Copy. Brooklyn Bridge, that's a copy, next call, that's Bowling, actually, next call, that's 7th Street. E501 at Canal, proceed to Brooklyn Bridge.
Copy.
Why are Phoenix Chargers and Maryland? What? The hell are you doing in Maryland?
Who?
Grand Central. Transfer is available.
Grand Central, it's a copy, 14th Union.
Shuttle to Times Square. Connection is available to Metro North. This is a Brooklyn Route 5 express train. The next stop is 14th Street.
14th Street for the 507.
14th Street, go to Canal, Brooklyn Bridge, go to...
527. 125. 4 train is calling back at 59.
15-4 at Open, go to Bowling Green. 59th, the train I told to go to... The train at 59th, I told to go to Grand Central.
Muffle.
36,
Another train.
2 train, again.
72nd? Yep. 42nd.
Copy.
527, 125.
12586. Copy.
What is my type of local stop?
This is the 572 bar train pulling back at 86th Street.
86 to the 517. It's a copy. Next call back to Grand Central.
That's for granted.
I don't know. I told you to hold outside of Fulton. Ignore that. Go straight.
Oh, well, good, I just pulled full.
There's 138, 125.
Oh, one is at full.
Bowling Green. Check.
Copy.
We're notably MIT hold outside. Hold outside of them. Just
Outside where?
they're outside of Bowling Green, just in case.
This is the 533 train on like a 14th Street, 7th.
1114 with the copy. Next call back to Chambers.
Top.
R142 train is at Grand Central 42nd.
Waiting for Grand Central to copy. Next call back to 14th Union.
14th Union, that's a copy.
516 2 train in New Lots, calling back at Central Park Lot 110, punching for 7th Avenue Express.
APW 1 CPN for 110 to copy. Next call back to 6.
10-4 from 96th Street.
Fuck out. The broken tower. Get. 534, 138. Go to okay, that's good.
125 left.
125 next. 8. In or is that next?
Listen to 5095 died lots at 14th Street.
Let me know when you're bypassing canal. About 23 dollars you can call in a 125 or just say not
Should I still hold out of outside of Bowling Green or?
No, go in the building. So I apologize for not seeing pains because I'm also receiving DMs and I can't tell if it's a DM or if it's real pain. So
Ball game.
Bowling Green, that's a copy. Get the fuck out. Thank you.
Okay, 6 B train, 42nd Street. Yes,
After 3 seconds, it's a copy. Next call up 7 down. Repeat.
copy for 14.
527 86th Street.
86, that's a copy. Next call back to Red Zone.
Copy.
What was it? 516, you're still on your way to 96.
507 count.
And now it's a copy. 509, where is your location? Okay. 507, proceed to Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, cut off Justin.
516 2 train in New Lots, calling back at 96th Street.
96 to copy next 777.
10-4 for 72nd Street.
So, 509, further instructions. Once you cleared Canal Street, I need you.
Look at the Helen Tower. Oh, come on.
R21 4 trains calling back at 14th Street, Union Square.
Well, 14th Union, that's a copy. I have to hold you for a moment.
This is 509 lots of classification.
Canal Street. Once you're cleared out of Canal, please hold. The 521, I'm going to send you as far as Spring Street, but once you've passed Spring, it's a pleasure.
This is the 517 5 train calling back at Grand Central.
Grand Central's a copy. Your next call back for Union.
That's copy.
Oh boy.
Brooklyn Bridge 507.
7 for Brooklyn Bridge, your next call back soon. Boundary.
Oh, dang.
What's open?
533 train call back at Chambers Street.
Chambers, that is a copy. Your next call back is Wall Street.
Wall Street, that's copy.
509, disregard all holding, proceed to Brooklyn Bridge. Jet. The 521, that is proceeding with caution, disregard precautionary, just go to Canal. Let me know when you're bypassing Canal.
516-2 train to New Lots, calling back at 72nd Street.
72nd, it's a copy, next call back starts with 42nd.
9 over Times Square, 42nd Street.
This is the 529 5 train departing 130th Street Grand Concourse and its range 125th Street.
Who gave you clearance all the way on 25? The sure shit wasn't me. Either way, now that you're already at 125th, it's go to, if you're already at 125th, go at 86.
86? That's a copy.
86, 86, 86.
You got a trip big here.
Yeah? Hey, yeah, I really gotta check the track. Train to 86th Street, go to... Where the fuck is it? Wait.
This is 599 to New Lots at Brooklyn Bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge has a copy. Your next call back will be Bowling Green. 523, you're at 6. Why did I not change this? Grand Central.
523. 14 Sun Avenue.
14th and 7th, it's a copy. It's
Copy.
521, 4 trains bypassing Canal Street. Is Bowling Bridge clear for me to proceed?
What are you good?
I know.
I said Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge.
You said Bowling Bridge.
Bridge. Yeah, the 21 4 trains just bypass Canal. Is Brooklyn
Yeah,
Bridge?
Brooklyn Bridge should be cool.
Copy.
509, I might need you to hold outside of Bowling Green, because I'm not sure. 27 for Grand Central, it's a copy, and next go back to 14th Union. Excuse me.
This is the 575 train calling back at 14th Union Square.
14th Union, that's a copy, and next go back to That's, let me know when you're back to Canal.
Copy for bypass to get out.
Transfer is available to the 2, 3, A, and C trains.
507 Bowling Green.
Get out my tower.
Okay.
Much love. Get out. Get it.
Brooklyn Bridge for the 21 4 train.
City Hall, it's a copy. Go to Bowling Green. 509, it might be all the ones that are Bowling Green. So holding permissions, proceed to Bowling Green.
This is the 533 train call back on Wall Street.
Well, shit, that's a copy. Get out my tower.
10-4.
Much love. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
516-2 train to New Lots at Times Square, 42nd Street.
Times Square has a copy. 1470.
10-4 for 14th Street, settle down.
This is Wall Street.
42nd Street, Grand Central for the 23. Proceed out to fucking Union.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Again, proceed. Oh, it's just shit. Kurt's just gonna say something random. That too.
26th Street, Trinity, Chambers.
Wall Street.
Copy Wall.
This is the 575 train currently bypassing Canal Street.
You know, it's a county, proceed to Brooklyn Bridge.
Out from Brooklyn Bridge.
Bowling Green.
527, Union, that's a copy, and it's got a bridge. That's a copy.
This is 509 there. Two lots of.
That's a copy, or no? Probably the fuck out my tower. Much luck.
This is 509 there. Two lots Bowling Green.
509 Dart New Lots Bowling Green's a copy. Call back Borough Hall. .4 train Utica, that is a copy. Proceed across the switch, call back at Junius.
This is the 507 calling back at Nevin Street, Barclays Center.
I'm sorry, Nevin Street, Barclays?
I'm thinking of Atlantic Park. I'm calling back at Nevin Street.
15 Nevins, 07 at Nevins as a copy, or clear to Franklin Avenue.
Copy.
This is the 5016 at Franklin Avenue.
Alright, 501 Franklin, that is a copy. Punch Reason Parkway Express, call back Crown Heights, Utica.
Copy for Utica.
This is the 521 4 train from Woodlawn to Norlots Avenue, calling back at Bowling Green.
521 Woodlawn and New Lots, that is a copy. Call back Borough Hall.
Borough Hall, copy.
36th Station, Wall Street.
36 at Wall, that is a copy. Call back at Borough Hall.
Copy Borough Hall.
533 Shape Borough Hall.
183 train Borough Hall is a copy. Call back Atlantic Avenue.
Copy.
This is 509 there. Two lots at Borough Hall.
509 Dart New Lots Borough Hall, it's a copy. You're clear to Atlantic. Call back there.
Also, apparently I go local out.
That's a copy. 530, I'm changing your call back. Call back Nevins.
This is copy. Wait, Justin goes local?
After Nevins, he does.
Wow.
And look, the third 5 train.
Avenue for 501.
501 Crown Heights, that is a cop. Proceed across the switch, call back at Saratoga.
Cop Saratoga.
In the world?
Oh, for the 521 floor.
521 Borough Hall, that is a copy. Call back at Atlantic Barclays.
Atlantic Barclays, copy.
This is the 535 train calling back at Bowling Green.
517 Bowling Green, that is a copy. Call back Borough Hall.
Over Borough Hall.
533, check back on Evans.
530 Nevins, that is a copy. Please hold.
Transfer is available to the D, N, Q, and R trains. Connection is available to the Long Island Railroad.
This is a new Lots Avenue bound.
509, you can just battery run to Franklin. Call back Franklin.
Franklin Avenue, 509. I mean 507.
507 Franklin has a copy. Call back Crown Heights, Utica.
Copy for Utica.
The 530 holding at Nevins. Proceed. Call back Grand Army Plaza.
10-4.
536 Borough Hall.
36 Borough Hall is a copy. Call back Nevins.
Copy Nevins.
This is Bergen Street.
Spot 15 June, he says a copy of full on to your last stop, New Lots Avenue. Call back there.
Saratoga.
501 Saratoga, that is a copy. Call back Pennsylvania Avenue.
Grand Army Plaza.
Atlantic Avenue, Barclays, for 521 Fortune.
521 Atlantic, that is a copy. Call back Franklin Avenue.
Franklin Avenue,
This is the 517 5 train calling back at Borough Hall.
Alright, 517 Borough Hall proceeds in Nevins. 527 Bowling Green, call back Borough Hall. 516 2 train, will assume you're at Wall Street, call back Borough Hall.
507 is at Crown Heights.
57 Crown Heights has a cop. Proceed across the switch, call back Junius Street.
Copy for Junius.
Good evening, Brooklyn Tower. This is the 516 2 train to New Lots, calling back at Wall Street. 516 Wall, it's a copy, call back Borough Hall. 9 for Borough Hall.
This is Franklin Avenue. Transfer is available to the 4 train.
Transfer is available to the Franklin Avenue Shuttle.
This is 509 there.
509 Franklin Local. Does this still show you making stops at Mill Street in Kingston, or?
Lots Avenue bound for local
All right,
train.
509. Still battery run Crown Heights. Go back Crown Heights.
523 Bowling Green.
Clear of the closing doors,
23 Bowling
please.
Green. That is a copy. Please hold. 536, I assume you're at Nevins, call back Bergen.
This is the 517 5 train calling back at Nevins.
517 Nevins, that is a copy. Does it still show you proceeding on the express track, or does you switch to local too?
I still proceed on the express.
That is a copy, call back at Franklin Avenue.
That's a copy.
Okay, Green Army.
530 Grand Army, that is a copy, call back Franklin Avenue. Alright, 523 holding a Bowling Green, may receive a caution to Borough Hall, call back there.
Borough Hall.
127 Borough Hall, that is a copy, you can proceed to Nevins, call back there.
Copy.
521 4 train is calling back at Franklin Avenue, Mega Evans, punching for the 4 line.
521 Franklin, that is a copy, call back Crown Heights, Utica.
Crown Heights, Utica, copy.
Pennsylvania.
501 Pennsylvania, that is a copy, call back your next stop, Van Sicklin.
Stop Pennsylvania.
15 at New Lots, that is a copy, discharge your passengers, terminate your train, thank you for your service, have a good evening. .501, you have clear lineup to you have full lineup to New Lots, call back there.
Where did you want to call back again?
536, you call back to Bergen Street.
This is a New Lots Avenue bound 4 train. The next stop is Hunter Avenue on Rutland Road.
Yes, 501, you have full lineup to New Lots. 516 Borough Hall, call back Atlantic Barclays. 945 Atlantic Barclays, with bunch of Eastern Parkway Hall.
509 Dyer to New Lots,
509 Crown Heights, that is a copy, call back at Saratoga Avenue.
This is Stansbury.
530 Franklin Avenue, you can punch Eastern Parkway local, call back Crown Heights, Utica. 527 Nevins, you can proceed to Franklin Avenue, call back there.
To Borough Hall.
23 Borough Hall, that is a copy, call back Atlantic Barclays.
Junior Street 507.
507 Junior, that is a copy of full line to your last stop, New Lots Avenue, call back there.
New Lots or the
501 New Lots has a copy, discharge your passengers, terminate your train, thank you for your service, have a good evening.
Alright.
This is the 517 calling back at Franklin Avenue, for the 4 lineup.
517 Franklin has a copy, call back your next and last stop, Crown Heights, Utica. 521 Crown Heights, proceed across the switch, call back at your next stop, Sutter Avenue, Rutland Road.
10-4, Sutter Avenue, Rutland.
This is a New Lots Avenue bound 4 train. The next stop is Saratoga.
163 train Bergen Street, that is a copy. Call back Franklin Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
516 2 train and new lots. Calling back at Atlantic Avenue Parking Center.
516 Atlantic Parkway, that is a copy. Call back Grand Army Plaza.
10-4 for Grand Army Plaza.
This is a New Los Avenue bound 4 train. The next stop is Rockaway.
509 Saratoga, that's a copy. Call back Pennsylvania.
Stand clear of the closing doors,
523 Atlantic, that is a copy. Call back at Franklin Avenue.
.521 4 train is at Sutter Avenue, Butler.
521 Sutter Avenue, that is a copy. Call back Junior Street.
10-4 Junior.
Rockaway Avenue.
27 Franklin, that is a copy. Perfect Eastern Parkway Express. Call back at your next stop. Crown Heights.
That's a copy.
New lots for the 507.
507 New Lots Avenue, that is a copy. Discharge your passengers, terminate your train. Thank you for your service. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Five 29 5 train, we assume you're at Bowling Green. Call back Nevin Street.
This is the 517 5 train coming back at Crown Heights last stop.
517 Crown Heights, that's a copy. Discharge your passengers, proceed to the layup.
That's copy.
This is the 529, 5 calling at Bowling Green. I'm departing right now.
529, that's a copy. Call back Nevin Street.
It's the 533, she call back at Crown Heights.
Nevin Street.
530 Crown Heights, that is a copy. Call back Saratoga Avenue.
516 2 train and new lots. Calling back at Grand Army Plaza.
Junius
516 Grand Army, that is a copy. Call back your next stop, Eastern Parkway.
Parkway, Brooklyn Museum.
This is a New Los Avenue bound 4 train. The next stop is Pennsylvania Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
516 2 train and new lots. Calling back at Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn Museum.
516 Eastern Parkway, that is a copy. Please hold 36 doesn't call back. Alright, 523-5 train, Franklin Avenue, that is a copy. Please hold. 27's heading to Crown Heights in front of you.
This is Pennsylvania Avenue.
This is 509.
509 Pennsylvania, that's a copy of full length to your last stop, New Lots. Call back there.
This is the 517-5 train at Utica Avenue layout.
517th, the layup, that is a copy. You can lock down your train. Thanks for your service. Have a good evening.
That's a copy too.
The next stop is Van Sicklin Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
527 Crown Heights, that is a copy. Proceed across the switch. Call back to next stop, Sutter Avenue, Rutland Road. 523 holding at Franklin Avenue. Proceed to Crown Heights, Utica.
Copy, bro.
521 4 train is calling back at Junior.
521 Juniors, that's a copy of full line to your last stop, New Lots. Call back there.
Full line of New Lots. Copy.
The New Lots Avenue bound 4 train. The next stop is New Lots Avenue.
What's my callback now?
529, your callback is Nevins. 536, near Franklin Avenue.
Yeah, just got there.
536 Franklin, that is a copy. Call back at Kingston Avenue.
Copy Kingston.
Alright, 516 holding at Eastern Parkway. Proceed with caution to Franklin Avenue.
Ground floor for Franklin Avenue, make it at this car to the closet.
This is New Lots Avenue. Transfer is available to the B15 bus to JFK Airport.
This is 532 train calling back at Sarasota.
530 Saratoga, that is a copy. Call back at Pennsylvania Avenue.
So,
This is 509.
This is the last stop on this train. Everyone, please leave the train.
509 New Lots, that is a copy. You can discharge your passengers, terminate your train. Thanks for your service. Have a good evening.